Hello everyone. So I would like to talk a little bit about Morathi and Slaanesh's changes or rework. It's not exactly a rework, just some small changes. So for Morathi specifically, he gets the seductive influence, so he already had this, but this is basically his mechanic, okay? So the Shala won't have this seductive influence, she doesn't work that way, and it will be instead for Morathi. So that's good, he remains with that mechanic. Likely they're gonna adapt a little bit, some of the specifics to it, but for now it seems like it's just the same. If it were not for Lord Seduction, yes, that's right, there's a new ability for him. He can use 500 devotees to persuade a target lord into joining your faction as a Chaos Lord, and 25% of their force will follow you as devoted Marauders of Slaanesh or Chaos Warriors. So this has to be armies in the same region, with 50% or more seductive influence. So that's why its seductive influence is going to be used really well, and you cannot seduce legendary lords. But this can be really cool to get going really in the early game, or to quickly destroy a powerful army without having to suffer too many casualties, because in essence you'll be able to destroy 25% of that force, which is insane already. That's like a quarter of the enemy forces suddenly joins you, so that's even more on your side, and you just get some another lord on that as well. So that seems fine. It seems actually quite a nice addition to Morathi. Here's how it works. You can seduce the enemy lord. It has a cooldown of 20 turns, and it does cost 500 devotees. Of course, all of these values can be tweaked later on. I feel 20 turns is perhaps a little bit too much, but this does seem cool at all. It's like, in essence, if you have a very troubling enemy, suddenly it's not troubling at all. So that feels really good. And as you can see here, a new Chaos Lord has joined, and there's 3 units of Marauders. So that's 3 units, let's say, of infantry that the enemy loses for 3 units of yours. It's much higher than we had before, and already we had a very powerful seduction with Morathi. So now it's really good, especially I can see this in multiplayer being super annoying. But yeah, you cannot do this to legendary lords. Of course it would be very powerful, but still it's a very wonderful ability, something new to play with Morathi. Now, in terms of the buildings, this has always also changed. It's now like Khorne is set, which is that you have the demonic unit set on a demonic settlement and a mortal unit set on a mortal settlement. And there has been some changes. There have been some changes to the tiers of certain units. I can spot Chosen on tier 3, which is very impressive. Tier 3 Chosen for Slaanesh, it's actually quite good. They always suffered from a little bit of lack of armor, so suddenly they're going to be able to have the Chaos Warriors like on tier 2. I mean, for real. Armor is no longer going to be a problem for Slaanesh, and you'll be fielding mortal armies very soon, very soon. So overall, you can spot the different units. Of course, this is subject to change, but for now, this seems really good. There's not a lot, actually, of only 3 units on tier 5, so most of the Slaanesh roster is actually quite very available, actually. Even just the tier 3 units are going to be really insane. So this is also paired with some tech tree changes. As we're accustomed now, there's now a whole new, they didn't even show it all in the stream, there's a whole new tech tree, basically just for the buffs to units. So they separate it as they've been doing in terms of the army buffs and the province buffs, which is just helps overall when you're choosing if you want to buff your army or if you want to get bonuses for campaign and stuff. So overall, this is always a very good change, and they didn't show a lot of the specific text, but I'm very eager to check out, once I have my hands on the game, to check out the very changes and see if anyone gets some interesting abilities or anything like that. So yeah, overall, what we would expect of a small rework or some changes for Morathi and for Slaanesh. We could have a little bit more, but I do feel that with the new units and stuff, they might be in a very good place now. Now, they also spoke about the Dark Elves, and Lokhir Fellheart actually has a teleport ability. So he can teleport to a black arc, and it has a cooldown of 10 turns at a cost of 1000 gold. But the trick is that he doesn't teleport immediately. You can see the teleport icon on above of his character portrait there. There's a typical spot for a teleport icon. So he has that ability, but it doesn't work exactly as I was saying in the first turn. It's not immediate. You have to click to teleport, and then on the next turn he'll be teleported. So it's not like you have a get out of jail card or anything like that, like they said on the stream. You actually have to plan it a little bit, so you don't get to use this as a oh, I'm about to die, suddenly I'm going to teleport. No. You have to put him in a safe spot before you're able to do that. So yeah, a nice change for Lokhir, also introduced here. And as for Morathi, yes, I know, these are Dark Elves, these are not Slaanesh, but they are introduced because Slaanesh has given some units that can actually be used by the Dark Elves. And Morathi will have access to those. You can spot the building column that goes up to 5 in the infrastructure. That has the Demonads, the Exalted Demonads, and the Devotee units, even the Anointed hero, which is cool. So overall, they seem to be, you know, a little bit higher tier than it would be on Slaanesh, but of course you having a little bit extra options is always nice. There's an extra to this, so Morathi can actually buff the units faction wide. Let me show you. So she has 2 skills, so this is level 2. It gives Slaanesh Corruption, that's always good, but then it gives speed for those units, all armies faction wide, melee attack +6, and physical resistance. The physical resistance is just the Lord's army, so to differentiate a little bit of Morathi's army compared to other armies, but still that extra speed, that extra melee attack, it's always good for those 4 units. And yeah, I predict that this will make the armies of Morathi much different than we've seen before, especially with those Demonads being quite powerful and quite fast. So yeah, this should be an interesting point to make yet another Morathi run for us. Something new for the Dark Elves is always nice. So yep, those are the changes so far to Nakari and to Slaanesh. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but the faction was in a decent place. Now I believe it will be much better than before. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see more of these videos. Bye bye.